to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest today. Sarah Layton is joining us. She'll be on with us in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about internet, about writing, about unique content, and I'm not going to actually go into everything that we're going to chat about. You're going to have to stay tuned to get all that great information from Sarah Layton. So we will be doing that in just a little bit. But let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio, and I looked at the list this morning of items to celebrate. And obviously, we celebrate the fact that, we woke up this morning. That's a good start to celebrate. But it is Halloween today. Are you getting dressed up for Halloween? What are you going to be for Halloween? Hey, share some of those pictures right there on our Facebook pages, Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook, or any one of the many groups that we also host. Love to see what some of these pictures, we may even, if we find something that is extraordinary, we may share it, see if we can get that going a little viral for you. But what are the celebrations of the day? I look at them every morning just to see what we might want to focus on. And I looked today and I said, okay, National Doorbell Day. Yeah, we'll be sitting out on the driveway, so no one's going to be ringing our doorbell today. National Magic Day. I've been trying to disappear for a long time. Girl Scout Founders Day. Well, having beaten anorexia, you can probably guess what I will be going with. Let's get that drum roll going, guys. Yeah, National Caramel Apple Day is today. So we'll stick with that one as it is. National Caramel Apple Day. Put some nuts on the side. Well, I know. Many people are going to say that I'm the nut. But we're not going to go there. Looking at the markets this morning, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 244 points. I'm going to say the same thing today that I've said to you in the past because we were up a little bit higher. Just remember, when I talked to you last week about the markets being down so much, don't get too excited. If you're not a day trader, it's not an issue. Don't worry about it. The markets always overreact. So yes, we did see the markets up nearly 400 points yesterday. They're up again today, 233 points as we speak. We're on the last day of the month. It's going to be a volatile day because the traders all want to get their books looking good before the month changes. That's why you see some of these big volatile days. Now, the only day that's worse than the last day of the month would be the last day of a calendar quarter. Those are some of the issues as well. What's driving the market today? A lot of it has to do with the report that came out from Facebook. Yeah, they came out with some decent numbers. They said that it's going to take them a little while to figure out how to get their security under control. And even though many people are saying, something, I'm dumping Facebook, well, the fact of the matter is they're still using Instagram. They're still using WhatsApp. They're still using some of the other assets that Facebook has bought. Now, let's think about this one. We'll have to chat with Sarah Layton about this in a little bit. Here's the concept is 92% of Facebook's ad revenue now, 92% is coming from Mobile. Right? So if you're sitting there writing, or if you're planning on doing all of your information on a laptop computer, desktop computer, well, you're probably not hitting the target audience. So make sure you are watching that mobile to see what's going on. Are your ads optimized for mobile? Is your content optimized for mobile? Just think about this. Now, Facebook says 92% of their revenue is coming from mobile. Do you think the advertisers are doing that because they like mobile? No, that's where the eyeballs are at. So if the eyeballs are there and you're wanting to get onto those eyeballs and you're only doing your information on geared for the desktop device, you're going to get about 8% of the people. Is that who you're targeting as 8%? Think about that issue. So just remember, who is your target audience and where are they? If you're looking for the millennials, we better be looking at Instagram, not Facebook anyway, because they're leaving Facebook quickly. And make sure that you're in that space. Now, yes, I know you have to have a picture if you're doing things on Instagram. Now, I'm not an Instagram specialist, but I guess you have to have a picture of everything. A picture says 1,000 words. I don't know, maybe you better make sure that picture is done properly. There are some great apps out there to take your content, put it into pictures, and then share it to a link to your website. Your website needs to be the hub of everything, but again, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Looking at the other items going on in the market this morning, yeah, Facebook was the big one. I believe that Apple is going to announce their earnings today, so we'll see what happens in the markets there. They're probably going to be a bit stronger than what we would normally expect from Facebook. Apple, they've got their market and they've got their followers. It's almost a culture when you're looking at Apple. Right? As you go back to school, you go into the holidays. I don't know too many people that are wrapping up a present from Facebook to give to their family. They might be wrapping up a new MacBook. They might be wrapping up a new iPad. I saw they announced some new features on the newest of the iPads yesterday from an event they had in Brooklyn. We're also seeing now that the mobile devices, your iPhones, can actually become a gift again, because it was for a long time people would just buy their iPhones on a regular basis. They had the 2-year contracts. They got a new iPhone every 2 years. There's people like me that get one every year. But the average holding time now is 2.8 years is the replacement time for an Apple iPhone. So maybe mom and dad want to get you a new iPhone this year for the holidays. Maybe grandma and grandpa get it for you. Over $1,000 for the device. I think that my guys fell asleep when they heard me say that. Ow! Yeah, that's painful. Over $1,000 to get an iPhone now. Maybe they'll go to here's the issue. Even if you went to the Android device or the Google device, because what Facebook or Apple has done is they've made it a culture. It's an issue that if you have something other than an Apple computer, an Apple iPad, an Apple phone, right, there's a question mark there. Yeah, there are some others out there, but it is a community, a culture. That's why they can get away with charging so much money for those devices. Are they better than the other devices? Well, I don't know, because I'm part of the same culture, right? Apple comes up with a new phone, I just say send it. Apple comes out with a new iPad. I've got it right here on my desk. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, you'll be able to see that device right there on the table here in front of me. I use them all. I was the poster child of the Apple marketing plan. Do you have a marketing plan? So here's Apple's marketing plan: is get people in on one device and move them through the whole ecosystem of devices. I got the iPhone, liked it, so I bought an iPad, liked it, bought the MacBook Pro, liked it, and now I just upgrade all of them, handing the hand-me-downs to my wife and kid. I better hope my wife's not listening when I said that I hand her my hand-me-down. She's not really into the technology like I am. Surprise. Yeah, thanks, guys. That's just what you have to do, is get me in more trouble. Unbelievable. So that's the culture. That's what Apple has been trying to do. Now, I submit that one of the schools or one of the institutions that I'm very, very fond of watching is I do watch Chapman University. I went there when it was still a college. They had a 5-year and a 10-year plan that they were always working, and everybody knew what that plan was. Look at what Apple's done. They've got this plan. Everybody's on the same page working toward it. Just a thought for you right there. Yeah, looking at other news that it's driving the markets, well, 227,000 private sector jobs added in the month of October. That's according to a report out this morning. Fascinating that they come out that's how many jobs were added. They announced it already, and there's still 1 day to go in the month. But that's ADP, and they're a pretty good source because they're the ones doing payroll for so many people. So ADP came out, 227,000 new jobs. The Bureau of Labor Statistics pretty much follows the ADP numbers. They collect their data differently, but they're usually going in the same direction. The Bureau of Labor Statistics comes out with their number on Friday morning. It'll be out about 5:30 California time, 8:30 if you are in the East. So you'll be watching for that one as well. It is a market mover. They always see some sort of movement from the markets when we get these reports coming out. So we'll be watching that one for you. But again, remember, do not overreact when you see the market up big or down big. It's just the way the markets go, and they always overreact. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, why is original content on your website important? Or is it important? Well, we're going to talk about it with the expert, taking fear out of the mortgage process, and what is the fastest way to boost my credit. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you to get you into your new home, and they are the only one I know of that has the Fast Pass loan approval. So what is happening in the mortgage market today, and more importantly, why is it happening? Anybody can tell you what is happening because all they do is they go to that super secret website, google.com, or you can go to Market Watch. I look at that one on a regular basis. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 264 points right now. Oil up 9 cents a barrel. But let's look at what's driving mortgages. Well, we have to look at, for that, we do need to go and look at the leading indicator. Here's the only thing that affects mortgage rates. The Fannie Mae 30-year bond. It is the only thing that affects mortgage rates. That bond is down 12 basis points right now, which means interest rates are up. Now, I hear a lot of people say, well, Ron, what about the 10-year Treasury? Well, the only thing that what drives the Fannie Mae 30-year bond, that's the scary part. Everything drives the Fannie Mae 30-year bond. One of the items that drives that is the 10-year Treasury. That yield is up 3 basis points right now. We are getting into some very scary territory on the 10-year Treasury because right now we're sitting right at the 25-day moving average. We broke it a little bit earlier today, but if we get up to moving above that, get into the range of trying to test the upper averages, that's like getting it to 3.19. That means we could see interest rates jump significantly. We could see a bigger rise. Now, I looked at the numbers to where we were about a year ago this time. We were about 1% lower a year ago. So, again, why is this being driven? Well, the Mortgage Bankers Association had their application volume decreased 2.5% last week. Applications to purchase a home down 2% are now down only a 0.4% from this time last year. Refinance is down 4%. Again, the average 30-year mortgage remains steady at 5.11%, about 93 basis points, almost 1% higher from this time last year. And again, I shared with you that ADP report. I'm going to put a chart of that up on our social channels today so you can see where are we seeing the growth in business, where are the jobs coming from. We'll see all of that. Also, I'll share that with you in a little bit. Again, that is the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. But let's chat this morning. We want to talk more today is we're learning. It's time for Education 101. Actually, in my case, it might be pre-101, but we're going to talk to an expert. Sarah Layton is with us. Hopefully you can hear us. Sarah, are you there?
I'm here, Ron.
Awesome. So as most of our audience knows, I don't do a whole lot of telephone work. So if we have any technical issues, it might be just the host causing problems. But let's get started right away and dig into this, Sarah. Why is original content so important on my website?
Oh, Ron. Original content isn't important. It's mandatory in this day and age. If you are going to have any kind of business at this point, I think most of us can agree, you need to exist on the internet. That's where people are going to find anything from, a great restaurant for dinner tonight to their real estate agent and everything in between, right? Unless you have the majority of original content for your business or service or product in your area, you will not show up.
So here's the question I always have about that, because I mean, I have, in my situation, I mean, I've got a RonSiegelRadio.com, I've got SiegelLendingTeam.com, Ron Siegel Radio or RonSiegelBlog.com. If I put the same article on all three of those, is it going to look original or is it going to look like it's just plagiarized?
Well, so that kind of depends. Now, are all of them, they're all separate domains and they're all pointing separately?
Correct. Yeah, they're all separate domains doing different things.
Okay, but you have registered ownership. So, unfortunately, what I would say is that it's not a great idea. Yeah. While you can, now if you're the original owner like myself for my blog, I always publish everything first and foremost to my website. But then I'll go out and syndicate those same articles to LinkedIn, to Medium, to Blogger, and so on and so forth. Because the internet understands that I have ownership, my name is tied to all of that, I'm okay to do that. And in fact, I'm better off for doing so. But what I would say is that if you have those multiple domains, Ron, and they're talking to different audiences, your content should be altered on each one of them and tailored to that specific audience.
Okay, so I need to start writing even more than I already write. Well, actually, I just do mine based on radio, but I guess I'm missing the boat, I guess, is what I'm learning here. So I have to have different articles for everything then.
Yeah, and that's where I start with all of my clients and all my followers. The very first thing you need to do is identify who your target audience is. You know, if it's a certain type of client or whatever, you really need to have a very clear picture and profile of who that person is, what they want, what keeps them up at night, and how you can best serve them. And that is how that content needs to be tailored on each and every platform.
So if I've got all of them they're all geared in my world, I'm a mortgage lender. I lead a lending team and I do all these things for the benefit of the lending team. So do I have to really, I get, obviously I get nonprofit organizations. I'm looking at a candidate for mayor in the city of Anaheim is watching us right now. So I talk to him on radio. But everything's geared to try and generate some sort of mortgage interest. So am I going to still write, about the nonprofit work that I'm doing too?
Well, if it's relevant to the people that you're trying to attract as listeners or readers, if it will solve a problem or benefit them in some way, then yes, you do. Okay,
so I guess now I'm gonna have to start writing more, or else come up with another solution here. And maybe you'll help me with some sort of a solution. So how much content do I need? How often do I need to be writing then?
This is a very unpopular question and answer.
Uh-oh.
Basically, what it comes down to here is competition. So if there is no one else in your market trying to create content, which is basically impossible and not a reality, then you're going to have lower competition for those keywords that you're trying to rank for, right? At the bare minimum, everyone needs to be publishing fresh, completely original content to their website at least once a week, but they should shoot really for a minimum of 3 to 5 times a week in order to dominate the search engines for their various services and products.
Wow, 3 to 5 times a week. Holy.
Yeah, well, this is the great land grab of the internet right now, and it's getting noisier and noisier out there. More and more people have woken up to the fact that whoever creates the most content, original content, is the one that ends up at the top of all the search engines. So now that people are aware of that, it's getting more and more competitive.
So, but it seems to me that I've got to do more than just original content because I've got, obviously, my name is Ron Siegel. I've got, and I know but from doing my own Google searches, there's a Michael Mina restaurant chef named Ron Siegel. There's a Wharton professor named Ron Siegel and an insurance agent in New Jersey. And we all seem to constantly fight. But I do a live radio show every morning that gets published on YouTube every day. But I don't know that it's getting me the value that I should. So is there more to just publishing the content than just putting it out there?
Yeah, Yeah, so it's kind of a two-step process, and that's what it's not exactly a build it and they will come scenario like it was when the internet really first hit. You could just put something up and dominate pretty easily. It's not like that anymore. And quite frankly, the name of the game now is a little bit more about engagement. So, for example, if you did an episode that was all about, how to save money on your mortgage, I would tell you then not just to syndicate that to various different platforms, but go to platforms like, say, Facebook. And by the way, all social media platforms are search engines. So I would go in there and type in questions that you provide the answers to in that content, and it's going to show you all of the posts where people were asking those questions that you just answered. Now you have an excuse to engage with them, start or re-strike up the conversation, and share your content.
Wow. That sounds like a full-time job. We're going to have to talk more about that when we come back, Sarah, because I don't know how I'm going to be able to go and do all that and still try and help somebody save some money. But you and I are going to have to chat about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Sarah Layton, a real estate writer extraordinaire, and she's giving us some great content, some great ideas on how to get some engagement with our blog posts, with our websites, actually with our community. So we're going to talk more with Sarah Layton when we come back. We will also be chatting a little bit about taking fear out of the mortgage process and what is the fastest way to boost my credit. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay's available, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1, on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. you still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Nest is the quickest way I know of to get you that information. A considerable number of potential buyers shy away from jumping into the real estate market due to their uncertainties about the buying process. A specific cause for concern tends to be mortgage qualification. For many, the mortgage process can be scary, but it does not have to be. Even though it is Halloween, it does not have to be a scary process. In order to qualify in today's market, you need a down payment. The average down payment on all loans last year, 5%, with many buyers putting down 3% or less. A stable income and good credit history. Throughout the entire home buying process, you will interact with many different professionals who will all perform necessary roles. These professionals are all also valuable resources for you. Once you're ready to apply, here are 5 easy steps that Freddie Mac suggests you to follow. Number 1, find out your current credit history and score. Even if you don't have perfect credit, you may already qualify for a loan. The average FICO score of all closed loans in September, 731, according to Ellie Mae. Number 2, start gathering all your documentation, income verification, such as the W-2 forms or tax returns, credit history and assets, such as bank statements, to verify your savings. Number 3, contact a professional. Your real estate agent will be able to recommend a loan officer. Talk to the Siegel Lending Team at Gold Star Mortgage, who can help you develop a spending plan as well as help you determine how much home you can afford. Number 4, consult with that lending team. He'll be able to review your income, expenses, financial goals in order to determine the type and amount of mortgage you qualify. Number 5, talk to your lender about a pre-underwrite, not the pre-approval letter. That is outdated. Talk about getting pre-underwritten. That is the fast pass loan approval. Do your research. Stick to a budget. Be sure that you are ready to take on the financial responsibilities of home ownership. Just get that program in place. Get ready for it. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. We are learning today. It is Ron Siegel Radio Education. Writing 101 is the topic. I guess that's just my name of it. But we're talking to Sarah Layton is on the line with us this morning. She is the real estate writer, and she's actually sharing some great information with us on what we need to do to get seen, because it's so simple. Sarah, I think you'll probably agree with this. Most of the time that we've got this knowledge that, you know, we can write something, we can be the greatest writer in the whole world, put it on our website, and if no one ever sees it, what good did we do? So how do we get found?
Right. Well, so first of all, one thing I would like to mention, though, is the more you post fresh and original content to your website, what a lot of people do not realize is you're actually building up the value of that domain and website, provided that it is a relevant domain name. So, Ron, aside, you know, if all of your domains are Ron Siegel something, you know, .com, probably the only people that are going to want to buy that are another Ron Siegel. But
okay. Guess I got a problem there.
But let's say that you're, you know, a lender in Southern California, and you had something like SouthernCaliforniaLenders.com or whatever. I guarantee you that is a domain that will be in somewhat demand. Now, the more content that you have tied to that domain, the more you're going to be able to sell it for if you ever decide to maybe retire or you just want to sell it and move in a different direction. And you'd be surprised that you can pretty easily sell a domain for tens, hundreds of thousands. I've even had clients that came to me that were in bidding wars in the 7 figures for domains.
Wow.
So aside from actually getting the clients in the short term, you can absolutely build up a lot of value by investing in your content and just putting it on the website. Now,
well, but before you go on to that, so let me ask you this question then.
Yeah.
Being that I've got all these domain names and obviously my ego is bigger than my wallet, can we change that? I mean, can I change my domain names and start pointing somewhere else?
Yeah, and in fact, that's what I do with a lot of my clients when they come on board with me. A lot of them, majority of my clients are real estate agents at this point. So, and a lot of them will be like, SarahLaytonRealEstate.com. Well, nobody's searching for Sarah Layton Real Estate, but they are searching for real estate in my market. So the first thing I have them do is go get a new domain name that's hyper-local. And then we take all of their content and their website and point it to that domain. Very simple.
So what would we do if we're in a business other than real estate? I mean, just make sure that it's something that's generic. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. It needs to be, think of keywords or search terms that somebody might type into Google to find what you offer, and get a domain name that is as close to that as possible.
Okay, so if I'm a plumber, I can do whatever I want, but as long as I got the word plumber in it.
Right, but usually a plumber is somebody that's a hyper-local business, right? They're only in a certain area, so you're going to want to incorporate that as well. Okay,
so basically where I want to work, because that was one of the other questions I had, is I was trying to figure out how, if you're the internet is so worldwide, obviously. What do I want to do that's hyper-local? Am I cutting out my market if I want to keep everything hyper-local? And what is hyper-local content?
Right. So, obviously, if you do have a business that's localized, you're going to have even more of an excuse to do all that hyper-local. So my real estate agents, my lenders, people like that. One of the things that I love to have my agents or lenders do is go around and create either visual or audio, so video or audio content with all of the local business owners. So I tell them to go to the restaurants, go to the coffee shops, go to the libraries, go to the schools, create content with them, because now you have automatic free exposure to that person's network of followers, but you're creating content that has your city's name in it, so that each time that you do that, the search engines are seeing that and putting you higher and higher and higher in search results for anyone in your area. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So I would want to go to all the I could do that. I would go to all the restaurants in Newport Beach and talk to the owners or managers or maitre d's or whatever and do a little video with them and then share that.
Yep, absolutely.
Do I share it now? Do I share it to my website or do I share it to my social media channels?
So you always go to your website first. Every piece of content you create needs to go somewhere on your website. Even if it's a page, like a subdomain page that nobody sees, it'll still help increase the value of your website and increase your SEO. Because every time you add a piece of content, you're telling Google, hey, I'm trying to be relevant and help your searchers, so I've posted fresh content, and Google will go, oh, yay, thank you, and they'll help to rank you further. But you do need to share it to your social, and what I would recommend, and they will usually gladly do this anyway, is then have that restaurant manager or owner share it to their social, so that now you're getting all that free exposure. So instead of paying for a local Facebook ad, you went and spent, maybe a half an hour with somebody and got local exposure. Not to mention, those are people that are shaking hands and kissing babies with the people you're trying to attract every day anyway, and you just gave them you did a big favor for them. Now they have an excuse to try to refer out to you.
Interesting. I like that idea, especially having beaten anorexia. I can go to all these different restaurants all over and talk to the owners, and there's a lot of people there that are having a good time. Now, how long does it take to get the results from doing all this kind of thing?
Well, so again, it depends. Those that are more active and more diligent about it and follow, rules of SEO or, know to always have 25 to 30 relevant hashtags in their Instagram posts, those that follow those types of rules are going to get better results. So, but that's not to say, I've had clients that signed up with me, had no social media. We set them up with an Instagram account. 2 days later, they had gotten like 2 or 3 clients from it. So there are fluke situations that happen all the time. But the more content you create, the more often you post it, the faster everything's going to work for you.
Now, you made a comment there in passing that I just picked up on, and I want to dig into that a little bit further. 25 to 30 relevant hashtags. Did I hear that right?
So, you heard it. You heard it. Hashtags are basically a keyword, and they are going to make or break your presence on Instagram. So the limit of the amount of hashtags that you can put on your posts on Instagram are 30. Therefore, I tell everyone to create a list of maybe 20 to 25 that they want to rank for, whether it's, say I live in Bradenton, Florida. So if I was a real estate agent, maybe I would want to be, Bradenton, Florida realtor, right? That would be a hashtag. So I tell everyone, make a list of 20 to 25 of those. Put it as a note in your phone that you can copy and paste as a comment into every single post. And then if you're talking about like maybe a certain restaurant or certain area, you've still got room for 5 to 10 more hashtags that are custom to that post, which you can add.
Wow. And I constantly harass people when they've got all these different hashtags on there. I ask them if they were trying to play tic-tac-toe or something that you just look at it and say, have you gone overboard with hashtags? But I guess I'm the one that's all wet, and they know what they're doing. Amazing. We're going to talk further. Lourdes, we're talking to Sarah Layton this morning. Lourdes is asking that we are on our social channel. Andy Ingram, good to see you as well. Glenn, glad to see you. Harry, Tony, Arn, Pam, glad to see you all with us this morning. Bobby, Joe, Lisa, Mitchell's with us. Delcy, Joe's always on the social media channels. He probably knows all this stuff right now, but I'm just learning it. So we're going to continue our conversation with Sarah Layton. Can you hang on another segment for us, Sarah?
You got me as long as you need me, Ron.
Awesome. So we're gonna continue our conversation with Sarah Layton. We're gonna also come back and talk about how long does it take to boost a credit score. And we'll probably do that pretty quick because we've still got a lot of stuff to talk to Sarah about, and I don't want to miss out on anything at all. I'm sure you don't either, so don't go anywhere. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SiegelLendingTeam.com.
REGELlendingteam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions. Just get on the mailing list. They'll send you some of those solutions on a regular basis. And if you need a referral to somebody to help correct your credit report, just give me a call. Put you in touch with the right people. What is the fastest way to boost my credit? I get that question all the time. And obviously, you want to always be making your bill payments on time. I've shared with you forever 2 payments per month, one right before the statement due date, one right before the statement closing date. So you've got the statement closing date, the payment due date. Make a payment right before each one of those. The biggest payment you can possibly make, do that right before the statement closing date, but pay down those credit card balances. The utilization rate, keep it below 30% and ideally below 10% of the credit limit. That would be $1,000 credit limit, stay below either $100 or $300 if possible. If it's not there, you might ask your credit card company for a credit limit increase, but don't use that increase. The idea is that it's just there to help you with the utilization ratio. Get an error removed. I've never seen a credit report that does not have errors. So every report has them. Get them cleaned up. And that's the idea. Clean up and polish your credit report. Look at them on a regular basis. I already shared with you about paying twice monthly. You might even think about opening a new credit card account. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but once the initial inquiry hit goes through, the balance, keep it low. Again, just go buy a cup of Starbucks coffee and then pay it right off before the statement closing date. That'll help you out with that part of it. It'll get your score up. You might even become an authorized user from somebody else's credit card as long as they have a high limit, low balance, and it's an old card. Those are some of the issues there. Again, mix up your credit choices. You can't just have all one sort of credit. But give me a call at 800-306-1990. I would be happy to review your credit situation with you, give you some recommendations on how to make that work. Andy, I see that you shared you're tagging someone on the video. You may want to just share this broadcast with them, and that way they can grab it right off. On the bottom of your page there, it probably has an option for you to share it, and I hope you do, because Sarah Layton, the real estate writer, is giving us some great content today, some great ideas, educating us. Obviously, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to go out and get some new domain names because mine are all wrong, apparently. So I've learned that already this morning, and we want to get everything going to all the different sites. So we've learned that part of this morning. But let's go to talking about real estate specifically, Sarah. So what are the most important elements that we need for a real estate website?
Okay, that's a great question and one that I get all the time. So a few of the most important things, aside from obviously your, custom real estate content that's hyperlocal and tailored to your ideal clients, you want to make sure that you have IDX capabilities so that people can search for homes right on your website and don't have to go to Zillow or any of those other companies and getting away from you. You're also going to want to make sure you have lead capture devices so that you can grow your email list of subscribers right on the website. One of the popular ways to do that is to offer maybe a first-time home buyer's guide that they have to give you their email address to get, or anything else that would be valuable to them, and all they have to do is provide their email address in exchange for that guide. And then finally, and you mentioned this at the top of the show, and I'm so glad that you did, it must be mobile friendly. We are in an age where Google will not send anyone to your website if it is mobile friendly. They will work actively against you if your site is not mobile friendly, because you're only hurting them. So it needs to be mobile friendly first.
Okay, so how long should these posts be?
So blog posts, for example, should never be any less than 500 to 600 words. Same thing for any page of content that you have on your website. If it has less content than that, Google will not recognize it as a real page.
Wow. Okay, so I got and I've been told that you want the keywords, you want to have that at 12 to 15% of the content. Is that correct?
That's violently incorrect, actually. So the rules around keywords are changing quite a bit. What happened for a long time is that everyone figured out like the big rules of SEO, which were, keywords. So everyone went out and basically did what we call keyword stuffing into their websites and content. Well, and that basically manipulated search results in a negative way in Google's eyes. So now they punish you for having your keywords too much. So it's actually recommended that you have them anywhere between 0.5% to 1.5% for the overall content on each page. Plus, the way keywords are structured is changing. Thanks to our Alexas and Siris of the world, more and more search terms need to be in the form of a full question.
Wow. Okay. And I used to tell people that in radio we are extremely good at plagiarism. We hear the same thing on every radio program in the world. And one of my general managers said to me, Ron, we can't use plagiarism, but let's go with repurposing. So what is the rule of thumb if I want to use a generic blog post? Is that yay or nay, or where do we go with that one?
So glad you asked. This is very, very, this is a big thing that's done. There are a lot of companies out there, especially for real estate, but for every industry, that will sell you those generic blog posts where you can just kind of change out maybe your name and location a little bit. Google will punish you severely for doing that and will work very hard to make sure nobody ends up at your site. Not to mention, you can be sued for it as a real estate agent. Even if you think you bought the quote-unquote rights, you can be sued for it. So never go and copy-paste anyone else's content. That's a big fat no-no. If somebody does find that you have plagiarized their content, it's a very simple form to fill out with Google where they can let Google know that you have done that. And Google will very much make sure that your website never, ever, ever, not just shows up in search results, but appears at all. People will not be able to access your website, and they're not going to tell you about it either.
Ooh, that's a painful one, so we better be real careful there. So, okay, so now we obviously are going to get to the big question here then, because, I only work about 14 hours a day now. I get ready for a radio program and then leading a lending team. How do I have enough time to do all of this stuff, Sarah? I need help.
Well, yes. See, that's just the thing. All this SEO and, psychology and all of the work that goes into the type of writing and content creation that actually appeals to, people today. It's not what you were taught in school. I promise you that. So what I tell everyone as a lender, as a real estate coach, as an investor, as a real estate agent, your job is to go out there and do your job, not to try to be a writer, an SEO specialist, a digital marketer, a graphic designer, blah, 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 blah. I suggest that you hire it out.
You know something? I like that idea because I like to go get my martinis in the afternoon instead of sitting and writing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
But we started off earlier in the broadcast, we were talking a lot about the concept of hyper-local. How do I hire out hyper-local?
Well, so it's surprising, right? But actually, my clients are all over the country, and I'm able to create hyperlocal content for them simply by doing, a good amount of research on their area and the type of clients that they're trying to attract. Now, when it comes to doing those video interviews, perhaps in the restaurants like I talked to you about earlier in the show, obviously, I'm not you, so I can't go to the restaurant for you and do that. That's going to be your role. But what a lot of my clients do is take the blog articles I write for them, for example, and then they turn that they'll record a video and then take the audio of that video and turn it into a podcast episode, which can be cut up even further into social media posts or an Alexa flash briefing skill for a day or a few days. So, every blog post that you create or you hire someone to create, you can create at least dozens of pieces of content from that one post.
Well, in that case, I guess being that I am, like I said, am a simple guy, what I'm going to ask you to do, because we are getting up to the top of the hour, I'm going to ask if you can possibly put all of your contact information right there on Ron Siegel Radio on our Facebook page. So that way, anybody that wants to do this like I want to do it, I'm going to be talking to Sarah about doing all this hyper-local writing for the radio show and for our lending teams. I think there might be a lot of other people, Lourdes, that may want to be getting into this also. So if you don't, Lourdes, Andy, if you want to get into chatting with Sarah, we're going to put her contact information right on our Facebook page. We'll put it on the show notes as well. And you can talk to Sarah about, there's a lot of things that Sarah does, and I've got a whole list of them. But she can write the hyper-local content for you if you want somebody to write information about the descriptions for your MLS listings. I know that Sarah does that, and a whole host of other things. So we don't want to do an infomercial, just trying to get you some great information. And yeah, Lourdes, it'll be there. So we'll take care of getting that to you. And as always, Sarah, thanks for sharing all this. We're going to have you back on again so we can get into more information. But again, thanks for sharing with us. And as always, we ask everyone to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember my motto, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.